Good afternoon for the final time in the Race of Champions, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome finally to the grand final. Well, it's finally here, and the combatants for the Race of Champions victory are yours truly, Jacko, and I'm up against my girlfriend, danirox. It's master versus student in this. Danny with slightly better form coming into this, but it's absolutely neck and neck. This is where we had to come through to get to the final. Of course, this is what it's all for, the number one prize. We have races at Belgium, Canada and Italy lined up, with a variety of cars as well. And here we go. Murph was the spectator for this event, and here is round one at Spa. Danny, unlucky again, drawing third position as she's done a lot this tournament. Yours truly, Jacko on pole, and off we go at Spa. Pole not necessarily the greatest place to be starting at Spa, of course, as we all know, especially with this long run up Camel Straight, and it looks like Danny's had a pretty good run through the source, although my exit was pretty good as well. There is a massive slipstream available though on Camel Straight, and towards Lake Huma I'm defending to the inside. And the Toro Rosso is looking to the outside and not quite able to get through there, but in the mirror you can just see Danny losing it, and the Toro Rosso has fallen around 2 seconds behind. And I wasn't about to let that lead slip, and the gap didn't increase for the rest of the entire race, so very close, and in fact the fastest laps.
Great job, what a win.
The fastest laps, as you can see there, very close. So I had a 1-0 advantage going into Canada. This, of course, was a race that Danny won in PRL. This time we're second and third on the grid, but yet again Danny is behind. And Murph and I reviewed this, and instantly we decided to restart because there was a lot of lag there. And we'll take a look from Danny's perspective as to what just occurred. The lights go out for her, but I've already gone, and to a certain extent Murph has already, so that was deemed unfair at the start, and we all agreed that we would restart that. This time I actually get pole, so it's even worse for Danny, but at least this time there was no massive advantage for me off the start line in terms of pace, and Danny just very unlucky to keep drawing third position. I don't know what it is about this game that gives her third position on the grid in these random grid 2 or 1-on-1 races. Anyhow, we jump on board with her, and she's had an absolute belter through that chicane and has a good run next to me here down towards turn 1 lap 2, and jumping back on board in the Red Bull. I've gone a little bit deep in turn 1 and a little correction there, forcing Danny off the track, and let's have a look at that from her perspective if possible. Yeah, I was actually off the track, so it's a sort of a rejoin and then a bump off the track, so it was decided that meant that I had to let her back through. Obviously I could tell that myself, and through she goes into the lead for the first time, and I tried as much as I could to get back past, and it was a pretty good run there through the final chicane. We were really caught up here in turns 1 and 2. She went a little bit wide, perhaps feeling the pressure, but she did have the fastest lap then, and we've gone purple obviously because of the contact on lap 2. But that run through the hairpin there meant that she had a better exit, I would say. And towards the end of the straight, I wasn't quite there. Couldn't quite get the nose on the inside. Couldn't quite see the corner either, and cut it a little bit. And that was that. That was 1-all. Danny levelling the ledger. Very close.
Brilliant driving.
I don't know about brilliant driving. And now we've got a big problem because Danny's home track, Danny's best track, is next, and this is for the championship. The rest of the field consists of one driver, and she's on pole with this one. I've drawn third this time for the first time, and I've had a very good start, and I've got Tifosi behind me, of course, as I've drawn Ferrari for this race. But Danny, in the all-conquering Mercedes, what can she do with it? Going into turn 1, I have the inside running, and there's no contact yet. There's a little bit though, and it looks like Danny has actually managed to maintain the lead through that complex. But I'm right on her, as the slipstream is so OP, and if you can stay close enough you can just hold so much time back. I'm down the inside, there's contact definitely this time. Just come across the curb, I've gone a little bit on the gravel there, but it looks like I might get better traction on the exit and I'm through. Let's have a look at that from Danny's perspective. Yes, it looks like I've sort of forced her off there, and that was a bone of contention in the discussions we were having at the time. I went on to win that race, but together with Murph we decided that wasn't quite fair and that we would make Monza.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done, well done.
We would make Monza a best of 3 itself, because that wasn't a satisfactory way to end the championship with that sort of victory like that. And off we went again. This time I was on pole, Danny was behind, and let's see what happens. Of course, an unprecedented situation here, having to run the final of the 3 rounds 3 times to decide the winner, but that's of course how it happens sometimes, and it was the agreement struck during this time. Anyway, I held the lead on the end of lap 1, but Danny was going around the outside into turn 1. Very speculative move. I've left her the space, a little bit of contact there, and the outside usually has a bit better traction, but she's still there around Curva Grande. This could go all the way to La Rocha chicane. If she can hang on the outside, I might be able to cut back to the inside. Not quite. She's still there. What's going to happen into this chicane? Just about made it. And she's going around the outside still. What a fantastic move. How did she get beside me in the chicane? And around the outside of Lesmos, a little bit of interlocking of wheels, and there was no way through there. Let's have a look from my perspective what happened there. I think, yeah, it looks fine from my perspective. Doesn't look like I pushed her out wide, but that may have occurred through lag, possibly. Anyway, I've held the lead, and if I can keep it for just one more lap, I'll be crowned champion. But that's not going to happen, as Danny's made it around the outside of the first turn complex and then up the inside at the second part of the chicane. I've got a very good run off the corner though. I think I'm in rich, yes I am. I'm going to go back to the inside to defend this. Let's see what Danny does into the La Rocha chicane. Doesn't need to do anything because I completely outbrake myself. And her hand goes up. Yeah, it looks like I've slightly clipped her as I rejoin the track. And Danny goes on to even the ledger. I had an unprecedented 2-all, but I listed it as 1-1 and 1-1 in brackets for Monza. I don't know why my engineer's so happy with that, because that was a loss. Anyhow, this is it. This is the final 3 laps in the competition. Be all and end all, no matter what happens. And Murph pulls off there, so he was randomly assigned pole. This is a bit fairer, because one of us is not first and one of us is not third. We actually have a pretty even run down towards turn 1. I'm on the outside this time. I outbrake Danny, but it looks like I've run a bit too deep for my own good, and she's managed to sneak around the outside with a fantastically composed move. And I've slammed it into first gear there for the first turn complex and tried to make a little over and under on the second lap, but it didn't quite work out the way I'd planned. And I have to wait for the last lap to have another go. I'm down the inside. If I can hold this position, this is the championship to me. But it looks like Danny's managed to go around the outside again. What a fantastic move that was. And the fastest laps on that lap was so close. Let's see if I can sneak around the outside. There's a bit of contact there, wheel to wheel. That scared the crap through me. Let's see what happens then into La Rocha. This time I don't outbrake myself. Danny may have gone a bit deep. We both cut the corner, so that was completely fair. And this is my last opportunity, the final corner. I'm right on her out of Ascari. Heartbreaking stuff if I can get around the outside for her. But oh my god, this would feel so good if I could make this work. Jumping back on board with her. It looks like she has the upper hand. There's a bit of a straight in there, and she's let off. And what's going to happen? I think I've got it around the outside. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic finish. Let's have a look at the replay of that. I'm around the outside. Looks like Danny has the high ground. There's a little bit of contact. I get a little bit sideways. She has to let off. And that is all it takes to become a champion.
Great job, what a win.
Or to have the runner-up position. Heartbreaking stuff for Danny, but what a great effort it was to get to that stage. And a 2-1 victory is not to be scoffed at, or loss in fact. So thanks to everyone who competed. A thrilling way, of course, to finish. I've been Jacko. Thanks for watching.